Some value there.
Who's the only person that's missing Christian, right?
Oh no, Christian's online. Yep.
Yeah. If he comes here, then we don't have to do it on.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Thank
We
you.
need one writing
It's
three.
just one person.
No, I think there's another person in here.
Oh yes, true. Non-writing the tree.
I have my problem.
Anyone else non-writing the tree?
Let me.
No, because you already have. We'll keep on for them.
Oh yeah. I get to do the exam as well. So.
Make sure they have perfect.
Yep.
I can't move on from these two topics unless they're perfect.
Alright guys, you heard that. Right. Any questions, you let me know. The minor ones.
And if they don't have questions, you let me know.
Okay.
No questions also means they won't get in.
Yeah, of course. Oh no, you need the introduction now. That was the introduction. Get on. Do I have to reintroduce all the formulas again, guys?
Yeah,
Okay, you guys remember how to use formulas? Crisscross for sine, capital V for area, and cosine. Looks like area is already given to us. 6 sine 58. Any questions so far, guys? Wow. Yep. No worries. Sorry, what? Okay, let's have a look. Show me. Let's go some inputs. That's right. There's the view, right? Okay, so you can grab that. Do I have to give you a little revision on bearings? Anyone? Or you remember bearings okay? Question 5 is bearings already. Question 4 is working back in an area. So these questions spike up very quickly. I'm going to explode the calculation so you can understand. So this is the red part plus the green part to give you the bearing for this triangle here. So the red part is 180 degrees plus the green part to give you the blue part. Does that make sense? The real question is how are we going to solve for that green part? We need to do angles on the triangle. So the green part would be 180 subtract 38 subtract 90. $52. So the green part is that 52 degrees there, and then you add the 180 to the 52 to give you the entire blue bearing, okay? Is it okay for me to move on? Yep. Find the length of the side. Yeah, I mean, because it's a topic test, I think it's good to do all the questions, but don't skip any. image. Yeah. It'll give you the formulas and standards anyways.
The formula sheet?
Yeah. You just need to know how to use them.
Yeah.
Find the length of the x. Okay. Sorry, that's I was so focused on the question. Yes. I'm just doing the same question. So that just times up. That's it. So that Bianca can just do it all in one go. Yeah, so some of these formulas you could skip some steps. Like for this one right here, you don't have to write that line, you can just square it immediately. Save yourself some trouble. So alrighty then, so yes. Yeah, on the positions in this case, from Z to zone up, right here. So I'm going to go yes, all the way around. Straight away from here to here, that's 270 right here. Okay. Now, that's not. That's assumed.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that. So straight away, there's 270 something, 270 plus something, right?
Yeah.
That something is there. What we can do is we can use sort of all lines because you're writing on line. So you're trying to find the theater.
And give them us
So the adjacent sort of tangent. So what you can do in one go is either the tangent inverse is being implied. Once you output that value, add that value to this and use your okay? That's the way to making that. Yeah. So in this case, so everything has that. And A is just going to be the formula. Just call it. B is times sine looking back over. Yeah. This is going to put in all this is the number. Some number times x. What is that? What we have? Sine. That's 4 times x. And what is that going to be here? Multiplying that. Which can be equal to the value. You need to drop in that value, we're going to approximate it. Okay.
Yeah, bearings was last week. Yeah, this is a bearing question. Okay. So just remember where to read what we're concerned about. So it's x from z. So when it says from z, we put a Cartesian on that. Put a compass bearing on that. And we're concerned about going all the way around to here. Oh, Chen, I just realized that calculation may not be correct the way I did it.
Yeah.
it was inside the triangle, we need to minus subtract that, the angle would be there. So we need to minus that, give the angle up here. And then that angle outside will add up to the bearing.
So I add the 270 to the other.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Any problems over there?
I'm not sure.
Sine, find the length. Find the length. Okay, so that's not like formula. So find the length.
I'll show you here.
Yeah, I'll show you this one here. This one's a little bit hard because in this topic here, we have to know which rule we have to use. There's a lot on the page. Well, obviously it's not area, so it must be one of the following. When you look here, that thing there is outside the triangle, not inside. So if it's inside, it's an angle. And if it's on the outside, it's a length. So straight away, that narrows it down to either sine rule side or cosine rule side. Now, cosine rule works with the capital D method, and sine rule works with the crisscross method. Can you see that?
Yeah.
In this case, this angle here goes to the side. Now, this angle here will go to nothing, so we can't use that. So what we can do is that we can angle here. It's called alpha. Now, knowing angles on triangle, alpha is nothing more but 180. Subtract 106. Subtract 26. It follows here. Why? Because angles on triangle, right? So into 48. Inside is 48 now. Now, this angle can go to that side using the crisscross method above there. Let's get a little bit. Let's say X. So now, if you follow the structure, I say little a over sine capital A is equal to little b over sine capital B. It's not obviously in the formula, it's not exactly the same. So in this case, you just reword it. So little a over sine capital A is equal to little b over sine B. Exactly, right? Now in this case, when you make x a subject, this value is times inverse, so dividing that, it comes all the way up. X equals to 7 sine 106, sine 48, and you output that into the calculator.
Then,
Yeah.
so for this question, ask me how many in,
Just the length.
yeah, there's two sides I can use.
This one here is most,
Yeah,
yeah, because in this side,
given the
the question mark doesn't work.
Is everything okay? Head hurts. That means thinking is in process. Yeah, that's right. So that's how you know how to select things to formula, right? You use this, you don't use cosine. Cosine is more capital B. So capital B is more like that. And sine times line is always on the opposite side. If you want to use this formula, you use the side. You see it's c squared d equals x or something. Yeah. So I'm just going to rush towards the purple one. Yeah. The purple one. A and B doesn't matter which one it is, as long as C is on that side. So A could be this, could be that, could be squared. Fine. I'm just letting one go then.
This is standing paper as well.
Sorry?
I'll do that. I'll do this as standing paper.
Okay.
Should have been the trick question I'll ask. This is interesting.
Oh yeah, we should do those type of questions. Okay, sweet. How's everyone feeling for trigonometry so far? It's alright? I'm just going to quickly have a look. What else is there? Oh yeah, that's it. So you only got like 2 pages and a half left. Oh no, a page and a half. Calculate using sine rule. That's EDC. You guys get the answer for that. What's the method? Yeah, these questions are much more interesting to do.
Yes.
These are looking correct.
The one I have, I'm not sure about is line eight.
It's so tall.
Yeah, I use the find that I use the
Yes,
like, yeah,
So you get the answer.
Oh, you did sine rule on the right angle triangle. No, it's okay. The sine 90 just one anyway, but you can just use soccer on the very top. That's
I'm used to using sign.
but that's okay. That's totally fine because it should be the same value.
It feels like a different question if I get it.
No, you never have a different value there because right angle triangle is always 90. Sine 90 is always one. So it just works.
No matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. Yes.
This one asks you to find it in the.
Oh yeah, so that's an angle one, and that if you follow the pattern, most likely it's cosine rule. Because in sine rule, you need to angle. Cosine rule is one. So in this case, you know it's an angle, so we're going to use which one? The side or the angle? That. So I'll write the full version. So you can, that's cosine C, but we just say cosine B. Cosine theta is equal to A, B, that's C. B squared is 15 squared plus 15 squared minus 15 minus 6 squared all over 2 times 15. And but this one's sine.
They are really.
Okay.
With the other one, just use area and
Yeah, that's correct. So
I'm using
so around on the area of on the area of a triangle. You can see.
So is it like find the angle or because I thought for the area?
Oh, well, you know the thing about parallelogram? This side here is the same thing. Oh, you would have wrote it. But that's it done. So it'd be A, B, sine C done.
Okay, so I'm so confused. So it says find the area.
No, that's stupid. It should be triangle. It's not.
Okay, so I'm not finding area.
You are finding it.
Okay.
You are finding it.
Well, it's
They're not finding angle. That's the wrong symbol. I think what they meant to have is triangle. Yeah, like that. Sine 6B.
How'd you go with that question over there, the non-right angle one? Well, that's good. I'll catch up and see if you're working out if it's the same as mine. I mean, you're trying to show this, so you're trying to get to that. So let me see. Okay, you just have to get it. You have to get the angle up there. Yeah, that's right. So angle BAC equals 180, subtract 100, subtract 46. Cool. Six. Okay. Okay, 173.7 meters. Find the right angle, find the value of H. Oh, by the way, Chen, if you use this for regular right angle triangles, it also works.
Really?
Yeah, because sine 90 is still 1.
So I can use that.
You can technically use year 10 formula for your 9 questions, yes. So what's a meter squared? Okay. Did you get anything like that? Okay. 11? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, you're looking.
Very good. We almost done with 3. I think the last page is bearings.
Yes,
And then after bearings will be some things.
good. Can you find me okay?
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember daily.
Everyone should be out.
Still looking through?
And one thing we can say, I don't know about you, or non-working finance. That could work. That's just do it again. Do I have that? Yeah, I mean, the number looks familiar.
Yeah.
And then it goes to 27.
Yeah.
And then carry through for last one. Yep. Sorry, which one? Formula for this one is angle sine. Yeah, sure, no worries, sure.
Is it under the same? Under the same thing at top?
Remember, think of this to one
Is it
side.
this?
So here, 8, we get to sine 80 over 11. The next here is like doing just one multiply the half and then inverse this becomes sine theta equals 8 sine 80 over 11. And then lastly, we need to get rid of the sine. The sine is theta, so we have to do the inverse by doing shift sine. Theta equals shift sine for all that inside.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, what the heck is what's stepping back from mom? The C goes on the opposite side. So in this case, we'll take the
Wait, C and D opposite. So here.
So every time you use my capital V method, C is always the opposite side.
And then you just do those.
That's right, it doesn't matter what A means.
Okay.
So in this case, we'll just say this is C. That means this is A.
Okay.
This is C. Okay. Or the capital V method. Yes.
So just 14 there, but not just 14 from there.
Let me try to figure this one out. What did they give out?
So you gave up
Nine,
so I'm
so-
just trying to work backwards.
Is everything else okay?
Yes. So the answer is 6. Because the sine 30 is half on top is 1 quarter, 1 quarter of that is 9 times 4, which is 36, and square root of 36 is 6. I think that's the answer.
It's just because those two sides are equal.
That's correct, yeah. So I think the answer is 6. Let's verify. Times 2. Oh. So you divide by sine 30, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 9 divided by sine 30 should be 18. Right?
Yeah.
And then times by 2 is 36. And then square root of that is 6. Okay, we'll do it together then, because it's just this one page, and then we'll move on to simultaneous. All right, guys? All right, let's work with compass bearing.
Yeah, you're right.
That's right. Yep. 6. Sine 30 is a nice number. It's always half.
And then, yeah, weird.
Okay, so let's begin. A radio survey, show blah blah blah. Find the angle of POQ. Let me zoom in a bit. POQ. What? So POQ. POQ is all that. Okay. What is that? Okay, the first thing you should notice is that all these true bearings are relative to O. That means for this 55 to be there, it went this much, and for this 195 to be there, it went that much. Does that make sense? Or no? Maybe if I use a different color, it's a little bit better. So, oh, no, that's okay, it's okay. I mean, first comes the pain, then understanding. So have a look at this. For 55, remember, true bearing, you always rotate clockwise. So P relative to O will be 0.55 degrees true north. And for position Q, relative to O, it will be 195. So it makes sense to rotate all the way around like this. Okay? But that's theory. We're not entering the question. I just want you to remind yourself.
We have to see. So if I was to remove these things, have that on your thing. I'm going to remove these. The way to work this out is to, I think, put the compass bearings back like this. If that helps at all. Okay, that's not actually not too bad. So we're trying to find POQ. So that means the angles we have to find is this angle here in blue, and then you got another angle here in red, and you got an angle here in green. Does that make sense? Because that's inside the triangle. Zoom in. Is that making sense? This is probably the hardest part. This is let me get rid of that. Going away. So this angle here, we know it's going to be 55, but if this is a 90-degree component, what's 90 subtracts 55? It'll give us 35. So inside here is 35. So it's just only that red part there. It's 35 degrees. Okay. We need in that little arc, it's 35. Now we need to find what this is, and we need to find what the green part is. Well, we know what the box is. We know the box is always 90 degrees. So immediately that becomes 35 plus 90. Okay, so far we have 35 plus 90 plus some arbitrary value. And arbitrary value is this last part here in blue. Now, to get the angle in blue, we must know that to rotate all the way around here exactly is what value. So what do you think we should do with that 195? Well, 195 minus 180 gives you 15 degrees in there, and there's your value. So the final answer is 35 plus 15 plus 90, and that gives the angle of POQ. That's pretty rough for 2 marks. Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong West, John. It's 1 mark, even worse. POQ is 35 plus 90 plus 15, and yeah. But doesn't make sense though. Okay? Sorry? Oh no, we don't want that. Don't you make notes? You have it for in your room when you sleep. You look at it and it's like, oh my god, I see it again.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it.
Yeah, it's like when you sleep and you look at it, oh, what a way to wake up. There's no question. Compass bearing always work clockwise. So you start from here, you rotate all the way around. So you get to this line. The real question is, what's the value of that's 270 square feet. Then we need to find the square feet count. So 9 times 3 is 270 plus some number we don't know. How are we going to find alpha? Well, alpha, if you remember from parallelogram. So now this becomes a sort of problem. gonna be. And one will say that number also comes to each other. Make sense?
Yeah.
Are you satisfied? Better than others. Yes. Okay.
We are. Well, that's okay.
Sorry, just give me a moment. You're in?
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's okay.
SOP. Find SOP. Fucking hell. Here. Chen, mute your one. Okay? Good. Alright, SOP. What is angle SOP? Where is S? Oh, there it is. SOP. So it's, it's all that. Yeah? Now, one part of it is already easy. It's 55 on the right. We just need to find what's on the left, and that's it. I make it sound easy, right? I'll tell you what, it is easy. That's why.
Well, my standard math brain.
Oh,
I'm
no.
struggling with standard math.
Oh, no, we don't want to be struggling. We want to be on the tip of tear. We want to be on God tier.
I'm never getting there.
No, don't put yourself down.
Did you leave it?
Yeah, there.
I left it and then I started taking chemistry. Why did I take chemistry?
I like it, but I don't know.
Chemistry is also chemistry.
My teacher was very something. But I was just
Because I didn't like his little orientations on
I didn't know what he was saying.
my house.
So this is
And I have no idea. Oh yeah, that's on a wall that we had
Oh.
picture walls.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like all the houses.
I did mine and then I tried to clean it. It's like, yeah,
Talk about maths.
I'm waiting for you.
No, I think you're pretty much done.
Go to simultaneous now.
This is simultaneous.
This is simultaneous.
I thought it was going to be actual equations, then I saw linear.
That's right.
That's a curve.
Well, Sam has strict protocol for me to understand.
I don't really do this, very bad, don't like it, don't want to do it. I did literally everything else.
Okay.
You used to do that now.
35, 30.
I can get 30.
What's one revolution? 360. 360 minus 330 gives you 30. And then, no, it's okay, it's okay. Look, you just have to see it in terms of geometry.
I'm never ever going to be some type of what do you even use math designing? Like,
Maybe.
okay, well, I'm not going to be a math designer. What is a math designer? A math designer. Like, this just reminds me of a math. Do I need to go there? Well, yeah. No, the answer is no.
Do you want to do it together? Okay, let's do it together. A surveyor's notebook contained from the following radial survey. Calculate the distance between the tree and the tower. So where's the tree and the tower? Oh, it's right there. So we go.
All the way like that.
I'm gonna have a guess. It might be cosine side rule. So now, BC is what we're trying to find. BC is just this little square right here. No, we just need to find the angle and then we're done. The only problem here is that we need to find the angle. We just need to find that. Oops. So, worst case scenario, just put in your bearing like this. Okay, hopefully that's not too messy. Is that okay with the diagram? We're trying to find what's inside that triangle, just that value there, the blue part. Get rid of it. Okay.
Oh, okay, wait.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Okay. I'll give you a moment to solve that, and then come back to verify.
So 133.
Wow. I have to check that.
Like, yes. So that whole thing. I know, but this whole thing is after that.
So what did you say?
Just for the angles.
That's correct. What a genius. But you know the best way is learning? Why don't you explain to her how do you get that angle? Rather than listen to me and then, you know, have to deal with my own BS.
Yeah.
This is future mathematician right here.
That's a lie, and you know what?
No, it's not a lie.
127.
When are we gonna?
I'm very bad at this one.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
But how is that 56 on the line here?
Yeah, hold
We already did that. Remember, in real life, this is the only study the female one, you don't study the male one.
on. Yeah, we studied them.
Somebody else.
We started the female today.
Why?
It's huge. Do we actually do it?
Yeah. It's like the lowest first lesson. Oh no, second lesson. Second lesson.
It's like it's
Is this for every school?
What about that guarantee?
You're lucky.
Biology is not too bad. I just care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only biology was also good.
Everything's like true.
I get that.
But I just couldn't read.
You just do one over there.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna be a teacher now.
Nice. Well done on that angle. That's good. Once you get
No, what angle?
133.
Okay.
Because sometimes it's really long.
So from here to that line is 120.
So now I'm just doing
From here to
Sidewalk.
that line is
Sine rule.
No, sidewalk. Cosine sidewalk. That's what you're doing now. To find the distance. It's literally that. The angle you're down is there.
Yeah. Not the whole question. There's like 14 lines. Oh, okay. Because that's a lot of lines.
So then you. This is business or this? I'll go you.
Why does this keep on?
As soon as
No, it depends. So basically, the one at Weber, it's the one at Scott, so it was the best thing that we even. Yeah. That's what
that's isn't it? This is
what you have.
It's going down.
the other way.
And I would like to be so bad. No, but that's what Bailey said about the one at Weber. And the one at Hospital.
Since it's going down.
Yeah, I think the one at Weber was just really bad.
Apparently, that
Is this you?
Hello.
was
Yeah, Austin Park is
something
really good.
where-
I haven't
Oh,
gone
it's
to
a
Weber
graph. It
once.
said something.
Cubic.
No, it said increase. It said like, so it was like these. It was like, is the
Actually,
graph
we need to go to,
decreasing? And then like,
Yeah.
and then so I thought it was increasing and decreasing, but apparently it's decreasing.
What's that?
Oh,
What's
that's histogram.
what food place that offers?
Well,
Is
I'm
food
Type in
open?
histogram and then it'll come up.
trying to find the question, but
I don't care. I'm fine.
Alright, girls.
I'd love to go on
You okay with bearing now?
very can try. If a bearing so off my test.
that would be not even like halfway done.
Oh, I'm just halfway. I figured that out, but like, what's the whole answer?
Is it 50?
Where to find the distance?
Oh,
I have to
oh my God.
calculate. So the theta is 130 degrees. BC is equal to square root 35 squared plus 46 squared minus 2 bracket 35 times 46 cosine 3.
yeah, it is a histogram. Daniel,
Yeah,
positively skewed.
it's when the tail is leading towards the right.
So is it usually like the opposite? So if it's increasing, it's actually decreasing.
Wait, just give me a moment. What did you get? I got 74.41.
What'd you guess?
74?
That's not what I got.
What you got?
Hold on.
The dolly is.
Okay, show me how you calculate it. Is that okay now?
Yeah.
Did you put a plus sign between those two numbers? Is that the graph? Yeah, it's all graph.
It's just the word off.
What's called the skewed?
The value of x. Hey, I'm correcting you. Think about it, that means we're going to answer.
Let's see, actions like see.
You want me to let you get it?
Really, someone so would expect.
When it's even on both sides,
My
multiplication.
That's negative. That's what is that not even a point? So it's just
Maybe give me a bar though.
Even
So it's kind of like what the, it's kind of
and biologists.
yeah. I
We're
don't
going to do some questions.
Oh,
Well, we're halfway through.
Oh yeah, so then they come in because they don't link properly.
Oh, like modern has no binder. Yeah, that's just dumb. But she's also like actually take full.
All right, guys. Let's just move on to some things. I think we're good.
that was very good.
Oh, I thought like
Or do I work like generally? Yeah.
that's my third one. They're great. You know, you put cheese in it. I don't think you put anything in them.
I got a message that I said.
Wow, you can go to your bag though.
You get paid?
Well, it's usually not in there.
You do something?
Like Austria.
Just couldn't do it.
The Austria has
We're going to move on to simultaneous, right? We're pretty much finished off with trigonometry anyways.
Have I done this?
It would be so much easier to use my bond than go into my dad, then take it on, then open it, and whereas it's just my dad and look in my dad and
That's a line.
What is that?
Yeah, I know, like,
Yeah, no, that's fine if you had it right. Yeah, just make X the subject. Oh, okay.
What's that?
X squared.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, we got another one. Simultaneous one. Put your hand in the same one. Oh my. Yes. Why does the line look like that? Oh, wait, I'm talking. Oh, I'm like one step ahead of me. Hey, this is the
No.
I refuse to keep going.
Yeah, the exam for that.
no, just this sheet.
Yeah.
I don't want to see one ever again, it's going back
I hate this crap. What is that? Why is it?
You know what?
Doing it?
I'm pretty focused on this.
Why have I already done this?
Where did you get me? That's cute.
So we did. Yeah. No, we can.
Richard, I didn't understand where Richard was, and you all gave me.
No, because you were no. Me and Sam were right. You were right, and so that went to you.
Shut up.
Suck it, bitch. So aggressive.
Yeah. What do you think you should do with the sign?
Hey, Carl, that is not one I have written down. This is like
Already?
that is so funny.
That's fucking breakfast. No, it doesn't. You don't have to imagine to be smart. You can be smart. What? I'm not a liar. Anyways, do you know how to do question 2? Okay, I'll give you 3 seconds. It's much more generous. Honestly, I have too much fun teaching.
Look at this one. I didn't grab his hand, I didn't high five myself, high five it, and slide wrong.
Yeah, I'm not to the fun part.
Do you know how to draw? Do you know how to draw?
Yeah, but I pressed it easily.
Something they learn in United.
Is it just where
Where they come X and where they come Y.
She was in my class, but then.
No, I just it's just one I want to go there. It's been a while since I've gone. It's always parabolas.
I know, you have to connect the dots. This is connected dots in the future.
Why did I get that then?
You're just jealous that you didn't get it. Yeah. Go, yeah.
Sorry.
I
Alright.
actually my sheet.
Did you solve it? The line's going.
What's the difference between C and D?
The value in front of x. For this one, it's sorry. This one here, m is equal to -1/3, and m here is equal to -3. Is everything okay?
Yours just touched that whole line.
So what are the dates?
So this one here is a lot more flatter. This one's steeper, and this one's flatter. So the answer is C because the line's flat. It looks more flat. Look. If you don't want to look at it like that, can you do rise over run? Do you remember rise over run? Rise over run. That's another way you can do it. Rise over run, and that's just going to go 1/3 negative. Yeah.
So where are the x's when you take out the number? Any other number?
No.
I shove it in.
I actually I think you might have.
I know it's.
I think that's my sheet.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, so you guys lost my sheet.
What?
I didn't lose my sheet. You lost my sheet.
Does this make sense for question 3?
Yeah.
Question?
Because he's wrapped it through.
We'll separate.
See what we Well, we can't use the same. So it makes sense.
But Daniel Drew, he graduated. He was the Asian one.
Okay, and then actually no. It's really good. No, it's not. Oh my god, but we still go in? That's funny, because you passed the car. Let me see. Give me the phone, I want to see it. Screenshot it and send her the money. She's not going to send it.
I don't know why you think.
You're not allowed to keep it.
What?
You want to do it later? No, I'm going to do the carbon bubbles. Because Dolly's the leader. Of us. Actually, no. We don't want to make that. Oh my god, yeah, you're bubbles. You're bubbles. I get to wear a bob. My AP is gonna be that. Actually, yeah, but that doesn't make sense because I'm it's always good. No, this is my idea, so I'm going to be part of it. Since birth. Oh, maybe it's one of us to go along planning next year. Just with us, no one. Just us. Like, you're like the red thing. Who's smarter? Jojo the monkey. You know the one that's green, the villain, the green monkey.
My Jojo. Google my Jojo.
Yeah.
This looks so nice.
Right? Oh, money.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't match it up.
I just gotta look for which one's on.
No, I've been like
Do you have to that? I want to know myself.
I'll send you the question. Yeah, do it now. I'm waiting for notification. I'm checking my phone. Alright, I need your bank data.
You can do the number. You can, yeah.
I don't trust it.
No, I do the car.
You gotta be able to.
See you on the map.
Yeah, I'm like, do I need to make it something?
I'm not missing someone.
Oh no, me, that's how I play car.
Is it just car?
Like how cars cases yellow. You expect it to be the other way around.
Yeah, right.
Shut up. No, you. I said the car, she's disgusting. She's only the one to the yellow game. Occasionally reminds me of the dad that like goes to construction site.
Like that case?
And it's like,
Is it car? Tell me.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's a name like that? Yeah. Done? Right? Send it. I feel like that.
no. Did you not screen your car? Stupid.
Oh, my limit is 3. I can't send you.
No one. Let's send it 3K.
Then send 2,000.
I think he has.
Maybe it's so you think now. Oh, I've exceeded my limit by 1,000. 2,000. What am I to do?
Yeah, you're now error. Fucking negative 1. Find out. Figure it out. Anyone with that? Oh, no, that's negative. Oh, it's just negative 0.6 would be on. Because I know it's going to be less than negative 1.
I've exceeded my daily.
That's so weird.
This is BS.
There's something into that.
I can't say
Yeah, I
that.
was so weak. I had this. I don't know why. But my Americans I don't know like the apps.
Radlers,
Uploading it.
it's like
Do it now.
I think it's because of the app.
We're sitting here doing nothing. Wait for what?
Way to go.
Anyway, I'm seeing upstairs.
I can see it there.
I was like, what does that mean?
You get seven like that.
Oh, no, you know, it's
Say
solid.
line,
That's
right
what
now.
I mean. I was not a week.
Feel like this. Oh, your solution means.
That's not like something like can be not
For a new one.
I bought jeans instead. We should do jeans. Yeah, but I'm not saving for a car, so it's free.
Your parents are small.
That's what I'm doing.
Whoa. Isn't that cool? I've never seen that. You've never seen that. Ridiculous.
But I've never seen it. But I'm so.
Man, it's like
It's like when I bought mine, I had a grand.
Are you gonna
And
feed
then I'm
them?
You're getting calm.
Balance my life. Even more than that, there's nothing we can do.
I wonder what I paid on that. Well, why do you send it to me?
Yeah, why did you say that?
Must have been.
Maybe you talked about maybe that escape. Just look at
Yeah.
Considering that.
That's still a lot.
Really good. Cutting with You never know. You never know.
So you being.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap up soon.
Not buy it now. Yeah, and what, certified jeans? Okay.
Yeah, use simultaneous here. Simultaneous substitution.
I'm not, I don't want to Tuesday. Well, I don't want to rent. I just like buy one and then get
Or guys, we see you Wednesday.
Why are you leaving?
No,
I'm not renting.
see us. I'm used to my
I'll get mine. You'll see how I'm.
I like mine. Yes, yeah. And then inside we have like the I recommend it. I think it's whatever we want.
yeah.
I have no boss. It's like
Do the same as
well, I don't think it's well, I think if you want to get a pizza, then it's like that. The Alvalley cookies and then we'll get like I've got the Alvalley color.
Hey, she should know.
You were not voice. And then if you don't want to live in it, you can use it out. If you want to
Yeah.
How do you draw from the register? I'll let the solution together. See, I'll let the solution straight away. So usually that might have to send it to all the it's only straight away. It's all to do
But they didn't, they're instead. Was they put yellow on sweet bread. So you can imagine what that looks like. Like like what? I said we look like McDonald's. But like and it's maybe so it's like 3 different colors. So like picture your jacket, but I'll show you. No, that's not looking good. It's not as ugly as you make.
That's tough.
Like, okay, like one side is like bad, the other side is like alright. I like that. So when do you like 7? Picture them in 7. Whenever. Yes, I used to get last one. I'll get it. So much. It's nice on you guys. Yeah. The back is pretty good.
He's gonna be outstanding everywhere.
I don't know what's up, because I'm super weird with switching.
something like that, like David.
getting my hair redone. Like, like, not like when you did nothing.
Yeah, I always tell myself, I'll do it. I do it at one. Oh, you know what? I can do that. I can do that. I can.
Well, I can't. Do the lessons that way. What time do you really want more?
That's that side. That's like my. It's a little yellow. Yeah, like unnecessary. I love. I have yellow in my screen. Okay, yeah. But it's like no other use. Mine. Or like this usually.
Yo.
That's what I was learning. I'm like, I don't need to learn.
I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It has a function, but I don't need to learn all the parts.
Yeah, it's
Like, you know, it's
It's
just
for
Oh,
it's
so you have revenue skill.
but I pee. No, like PE is good, like
So much
I even like PE. Practically PE practice is the best.
my school does like when it's like they show us marks and like get paid and then speak like one. Because then you have to take class. Basically this got red.
I don't really.
And had a bit of that.
And the one is important this thing.
And you know, when I was upgrading from painting, and we all have all need to change it. And no one in our grade was doing it except her. I was like, I sat there. I was 300 people.
I don't like
Over 300 including back over there. Like, we had like a jersey. I'm like, no, that's fine. I just went to quality. We have like designers. And I went to like, she said that she. I went to
yeah, exactly. Like they can do the whole all you is good. They will when they will. And then.
They're all yes men. Not yes. That's fine. Yeah. I'm like, no, I'll go that way. But the yellow kind of ruined me. Like, you see on the
They're like really lots of more.
I think the name is worse than the yellow. Like, yeah, so bad. You carry a mess. Yeah, I mean, that's what they're
You know the same way I'm
And one side's tight and the other. So that side's it's like loose side and the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Usually when some people have people on the side. Because they're right.
Really more fun. And every week, we're gonna be looking at it.
Oh, thank you.
Are there questions I need to go through before I continue with this printer? Yes? No? The questions I go up to, yeah. 7 and 8. Nothing to go through yet? You're okay with that? Match each equation with the table of values. Okay. Simple substitution for number 7. You know how to do number 7?
Space now. I mean, like, this is the formula. Like,
H plus for every year, correct?
plus 3x.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Because the one thing is like, I don't know if you know if it's 8 per job or like per.
No, it's cost $8 plus $3 for every job. So the radius is 3. Number of jobs, 0, 4 pages. Fair enough. That's okay. Okay, good.
So you guys
You've done this one. You've done your equation. It should have been 8 plus 3x. You've done, I think, 8x plus 3. Yeah, I can see it. It's this plus 3 times this. 8 plus 3 times that.
Oh, mine does that, like mine. I looked them up.
All right, number 7. What do we have? Match each equation with a table of values. Oops. Y equals 2x. Well, that would just mean 2 times the x values to get your y, which means this is C. 2 times the x values take away 1. I guess the closest one that looks like is A. 5 take away 2 times x. That looks like 5 take away, yeah, that looks like D. And then obviously the only other one left is B. Now that's all well and good, but that won't be what's going to be in your exam. In your exam, it will say, here's the table of values, you tell us the equation. It won't say match. So how are you going to be able to identify it yourself? Any ideas? Subpoints in to what, but you don't have an equation. You're creating the equation. So all you have is, I like that. All you have is, I guess, this square x plus triangle. You need to find what square is, you need to find what triangle is, technically, right? Y equals mx plus b. But what do you know the triangle is always? Where x is 0. The triangle is the y-intercept where x is 0. So your triangle for this one here is always going to be at 4.
And then the square is just the number that this is going up by. So what number is going up by here? 3. So the answer is 3x plus 4, which is what we just found too. So let's do it again. Y equals, what's it going up by? Well, in this case, it's going down by 2. So negative 2x, and then find 0, what's underneath 0, plus 5, and that looks like this one here. 5 take away 2x is the same as negative 2x plus 5. Good work. Number 8. Are we up to number 8? Grace, so like I said, the formula has to be y equals 8 plus 3x. So that's 8, that is 20, 24, that's 32, 36 plus 8, we're looking at 44. Then this should be 56, and then the last one should be 68. Is that right? Yep. You guys all with me? You're all on this? Jan, Christian, you guys are all on this question? Question 8?
Question 8. Yeah.
And then you draw a graph. Well, when number of jugs is 0, it's $8, which is somewhere there. At 4, it's 20. At 8, it's 32. At 12, it's 44. At 16, it's 56. And at 20, it's 68. It should have been a straight line. But there you go. That's as close as I'm going to get it to a straight line by freehand. Easy? 2 marks. What is the intercept on the vertical axis? Essentially, that's another way of saying what is the y-intercept? Well, you know from this, the y-intercept is just 8. Otherwise, you could just go, okay, the vertical intercept is just 8 anyways. Briefly explain what this represents. What does $8 represent? The initial cost. And what's another way of saying other than initial cost? What starts with F? Say it again? No. Something cost compared to something cost. What would the 3 be? The 3 starts with a V. V cost? Yeah, like that. Yeah, I'll accept it's a variable. So 3x, 3 specifically is a variable. And what would the 8 be? Fixed cost. Yeah, remember that now? It's fixed. Regardless of what's going to happen, you've got to pay $8. Or it's the initial cost. So like, if you think of rent, you've got to pay $8 regardless. Then I've got to pay $3 per calculator. Or it cost me $3 per calculator. But initially, you've got to pay $8 for rent. So briefly explain what this represents. I just said that initial cost, or sometimes going to be fixed cost. What is the gradient of the line? We said 3. Briefly explain what this represents. Variable cost. The price per jug, I think. Yeah. What are you doing? Chemistry. Oh, yeah. What is the cost of producing 14 jugs of lemonade? Well, 8 plus 3 times 14 is $50. What's the total cost of a batch Grace made? Sorry, the total cost of a batch Grace made was 56. How many jugs does she contain? Well, that means you've got to do it backwards. So 56 equals 8 plus 3x. 56 take away 8. 56 take away 8 is what?
48.
48. And then divide by 3. X equals 16. Good work. If Grace sells the lemonade for $4 per jug, draw the graph of her return from sales on the same number plane. So y equals 8 plus 4x. Well, I mean, if you really needed to, you could, but you should, because it's got to be exact. So you've got to create another table of values. So there's x, there's y. We had, I think you said 0, 4, 8, 12, and so on. At 0, we know it's $8. at 4, 4 times 4 is 16, 16 plus 8, 24, 32, 40, and now you can tell it's just going up by 16, 56, and so on. Yep, so 24, a little bit there, $40 there, at 12 it's 56 there, and so on. At 16, it should be 60, sorry, 20, it's going up by 16, right? I said, so 70, and that would be the graph, something like that. Where do the two lines intersect? Briefly explain what this means.
At the beginning,
Yep.
that means that no jugs were sold just
Yeah. No, because no jugs were sold. So you can't really make anything if you haven't sold anything. But there is a loss. Because it's costing you $8. But briefly explain what this means. Well, usually when two things meet, you're talking about break-even point, so I like that you've learned that. In this case, because these are both costs, 8 is just your, like we said, your fixed cost. That means irrespective of how much you sell the jugs for, it's costing you $8. Isn't it cost rather than profit? Wasn't the question?
the cost of the
Grace has there. It's a cost of produce. It's going to cost you $8. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can sell it for $10 a jug. You'll make more profit, but it still has to cost you $8. Does that make sense? So where do the two lines intersect? We said the y-intercept, but in this case we'll also say y-intercept, which equals to 8. Briefly explain what this means. I just said it's your fixed cost irrespective of I guess cost per jug. Cost per jug. I'm sure you guys have all heard the standard paper this year was hard. It was probably the hardest paper. It was harder than extension 2 at that hard. So like even the top standard students of mine found it very hard. Just so you know, right? Now, yeah. That's the idea. That's why. So what you got to remember is 25 marks is going to be advanced. Now we do that. Yes. Yeah. Because they can use that as an excuse. So before this new syllabus, there wasn't a thing called common content. Right? Now in this new syllabus, it's called common content. Whereas in the old syllabus, I used to teach non-right angle trig, what you guys have just done, in year 12. Whereas in advanced, we teach it in year 11. It was in the HSC, right? We never called it common content. It was just in the HSC. But now all of a sudden, when students are like, "Oh, there's common content in advanced," oh, that's the excuse I needed for it to be hard. The reason why they've actually made it hard is because standard was getting pretty close to getting scaled as well as advanced. They needed to make it hard so that the scaling of standard goes back down. So what you've got to understand is your exams are not necessarily going to be hard again. I don't think it will be the same level of difficulty. I think extension 2 will be hard next year instead of it being super easy like it was this year. This year, I think on average, they're going to get 80%, which is really high for extension 2. Not as good. Yeah. Correct. Same thing with standard. If the fact that but the idea with standard is if the whole cohort does bad. See, with extension 2, what you've got to understand is the students who do it usually do well with other subjects. Because each subject is pegged to another subject, being English, students who do extension 2 math usually do well in English in the common paper that both advanced and standard have to sit. Extension 2 will still get scaled high. Standard, the students who do standard math usually do standard English, which means in their standard English they usually do bad, which means standard math will always be lower scaling. Does that make sense? So it's always pegged to another subject. Now they're trying to peg it to math. That's why there's that whole common content, which specifically means the questions in standard and advanced are exactly the same now. Whereas before it was just the topic that was the same. So it was non-right angle trig, but that means in advanced they could ask it at advanced level, in standard they could ask at standard level. Now it's not like that. Now it's exactly the same question. So of course, advanced have an advantage.
25 marks
Correct.
in the exam.
It's still a quarter.
Do you do this like
We'll cover it.
in
Look,
school? Do they
you know-
cover it or not? That's what I saw.
It's tricky. I don't know. See, like, if you're going to go through the school syllabus, the amount of hours they're given, it's hard for them to complete it. It's funny because I only have 2 hours and I somehow finish it, but I don't know. I think from the program that they've set, they usually don't cover it well. Like even at my advanced students, I had to go through standard math. Like we had to go through z-scores and all the financial stuff. Otherwise, it's not really in the books at the standard level that they needed to be at. It was bad, pretty much. But then everyone found it bad, so we'll wait and see what happens with the scaling when it comes out. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, we're going to do it right now. That's why I've stopped it. Now we're going to look at the standard paper.
I saw the cricket question. I had like so much writing, the whole page of writing.
I don't know why everyone's going crazy about that.
Yeah, because you said like
There's
irrelevant
nothing.
information and you're in the zone and you're trying to read it.
Of
and you're like,
course. That's how it
it
works.
just
That's
fries
standard
your brain.
math.
Like I know it's not.
But
probably
that
my
is standard.
question, but it's something.
No, that's standard math. All right. These are solutions.
My laptop died, so I can't really
Now I think it's gone through the security period. Yes, it's ended. So you can't see this. Get on your phone maybe. You want to see it. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. Oh, that's crap. Wait, the question for those who are on, just have a quick look. I wanted to show you. Shh, girls, please, just 2 seconds. I want to show you the question that's relevant for us right now. Anyways, and then next week we can go into further detail. The questions that are relevant. So this is part. No, we haven't done one linear yet. We did. Where is it? We've done simultaneous equations. And trig. There's 5 marks. Let's read. So see, when we say common content, this question now was exactly the same question in the advanced paper. Exactly the same. Whereas in the previous syllabus, it was the topic that was the same. But now it's the exact question. Like this question was for advanced paper. Yeah, this is actually the exact question is in the. And the reason why they're doing that is because when they go into scaling, they want to see a student who's doing advanced, if they got this question out, but a student who's doing standard didn't do it, so therefore they get scaled down. That's the idea. They're doing that for math now. Exactly. The common module in paper 1, that's why it's like that, because they peg all of your subjects according to that first paper. So if someone's doing physics, someone else is doing CAFs, both of those students are doing standard English. They'll look at their standard English marks, right? Assuming they're the same now, they have to be the same. If they're not, then that's where the scaling comes in. But let's just say they are the same. They'll get this physics mark, which is 60. They'll get this CAFS mark, which is 80. One of them has to either match. So either the 60 goes up to an 80, or the 80 goes down to 8. That's how the scaling works. But it doesn't have to be like that. It's about the same student got the exact same mark in English, assuming all else is equal. Yes, that's what you got to understand.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So it was stupid to read it.
So sometimes, I get students that are like at the end, towards the end of the HSC after trials, they're like, my math mark is like this. I'm like, actually, instead of improving your math mark by 10 marks, go and improve your English mark by 2 marks. That's going to help you more than your math. It doesn't work. It's all together. Stop saying it's complicated. I'm just trying to tell you it's pegged back to that.
I know
So
it's on the
now-
top.
Wait, you guys are all at the same time?
That's the one thing, like, they lower your mark, like,
But they're only lowering your mark because the same student got the same mark in the English paper, assuming all else is equal. If they had done CAF, they would have also got 80%. Right? But they didn't, they did physics. So therefore physics gets scaled up to 80. Or CAFs gets scaled down to 60. So they're still equivalent. I'm just trying to say. One or the other. Now that means if you do get an 80 in CAFs, what you guys got to learn from that is maybe 80 is not good enough in CAFs. You got to get a 90. And there's always benchmarks. I can tell you benchmarks if you want to know. Then you won't be effective. Everything has a benchmark. I did 2 low scaling subjects. I got my benchmark, it didn't affect me. It depends per subject. I might not know all of them, like I don't know CAPS. But there's a point where if you don't get the benchmark, it's negative scaling, like it's so bad. Not even just low. Backwards. Like engineering for me was one of those. That means you can't get 100. You can't get 100. Even if you get 100, it goes down to 96. The highest you can get is 96. So 100 is 96. 99 is 96. 98 is 95. 97 is 95. 96 is 95. It just goes down. It's not fair. It is. It's just how it works, I guess. It's as fair as they can make it. Let's just say that. Because you might get it too late. You might realize that at the end, whereas other people are working hard throughout the year. That's what it's rewarding. It's rewarding consistency, not rewarding last minute study. I really wanted to go through this question. Do you guys have 5 minutes to go through this, or do you want to do it next week?
My brother's on.
Alright, get out.
Is that why like they did English first though? So like.
Correct.
Yeah, put more your main focus.
Correct. It's a good thing that you guys know about this now.
and now I'm gonna ignore all my other subjects.
No.
We're doing Shakespeare right now, and I hate it. So I just sit there like waiting for them to pause it and explain to me what they're saying because I don't know what they're saying.
Did I keep the secret? I know I'm gonna lose it.
Keep it at the front then.
I actually left mine here.
Well then it's probably at
Oh
the
wait, can
front.
we just leave it?
Well, unless I